Thank you. You need to turn your volume down.
All right, we are recording now.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, it's 7 p.m. Today is March 28th, 2022. This is the Flemington Borough Council. We do have a work session started without an agenda. I just had a couple things that I want, well, actually one thing I wanted to bring up. Thank you to both Liz and Jess for stepping up to handle our community cleanup day. I got emails from both of you, and so rather than replying over the weekend and trying to act like a person in the middle, I decided that I would just wait and bring it up this evening. Liz, you kind of mentioned that you wanted to do it, but you were busy for the first through April. Jess can do it, but needs to do it on a Sunday, and the first day she could do it would be May 1st, which I'm okay with if we wait to May 1st. You guys want to do it together on a Sunday?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I think
cool.
I think that could work. We can make that work. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
When we get to the agenda, will you then make a motion to amend the agenda? We can do it in April too, but may as well just get it over with.
Okay.
Amend the agenda to add in the spring community cleanup for Sunday, May 1st.
Okay. All right, got it. We'll do.
Okay, that's all I had. And as you can see, it didn't require much time. Anyone else? Do you have anything? How's the community garden coming?
It is good. I'm working with Bill. He's gonna help me because he's done this before. So he said tomorrow he's going to send me the wait to get incorporated first and then apply for the 501c3. So so he'll send me that tomorrow and I'll work on it whatever and ask him questions of what I need.
Excellent.
And yeah.
Thanks, Bill, for jumping in and saying that.
Yeah, thank you.
I had no clue that you were doing it. I had been in the process of talking with our different attorneys about it. No eyes on you. You have anything?
Nothing beyond just kind of working with putting together more stuff for the civic committee stuff. Looking at probably the summer for a lot of the things to start with that, including some sort of presentation. But that's pretty much it, just in the sorting things out, logistical phase.
Got it. I'd love to revisit the whole idea of the community volunteer fair too.
Yes, I think that would
Absolutely.
Which, as you may recall, we were in process of kind of planning in 2020.
what happened. But yeah, I think a volunteer fair would be fantastic, and a lot of people don't know the opportunities that are available to volunteer.
Got it. And we'll have our bags. Bags on the agenda tonight is to buy
yeah,
bags, so then we'll
yes.
send postcards out to every resident.
Yes.
I thought we could just mail a couple bags to every house, but I was
Cool.
talked out of that by the.
No? Yeah.
So. To pick up, they can come and pick up in here.
Okay.
And we can hand them out at community fairs.
Nice.
Paid for clean community money. Since we haven't spent any for a couple of years since going.
Yep.
I don't have anything else then. So if you want to hit pause.
Mhm.
Oh, I had one thing.
Oh, I'm sorry,
yeah.
Liz.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to
Forward.
kind of bring everyone up to speed on the situation with the Calvary Episcopal Church. So I don't know how much everyone knows or not, but you know,
No,
they were
there's
planning
probably
to do. Okay, so they are trying to use the house next to the church on the corner of Broad and New York for a transitional housing type of situation. but so there was a news article that came out, and so I think we might be expecting some community members to have some opinions on this. I did speak with Morel, the representative of the church, as well as Jeff Klein about our zoning. So their idea was to use the house to house up to 4 families in transitional periods of time, such as flooding or needing homes. She was very transparent with me in that they would have a thorough intake process with no mental health issues, domestic violence, no single men. She said it was similar to how they used to rotate churches for housing people before COVID hit, and that's kind of stopped. But the long and short of it all is that it is a violation of current borough zoning. It is zoned as a single family home. So that means only a single family can reside there as it stands now. So I did follow up with Morel and express that to her as well. The main reason being, for safety reasons, Jeff Klein brought up, if you have a multifamily dwelling, you would need things like sprinklers or fire alarms to, for safety. So where that stands now is that, I've explained that to her, and they are permitted if they were to house a single family at a time. They could use it as transitional housing still, but only one family at a time. I did tell her that she could try to appeal to the Board of Adjustments, which they may pursue. And she did say that they may contact an attorney to just make sure they're doing things correctly on their end. So I just wanted to make sure everyone was kind of up to date, and I'm happy to field questions if there's questions at the meeting tonight, but I wanted to let everyone else on council know what's going on.
Can you repeat that whole story during your council report?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
And I appreciate you doing the work on that for reasons we previously discussed.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and pause. Do you have anything else, Liz? Before I
one other brief thing. I had spoken to Dave Giuliani, and he was asking me if I knew anything, which I don't know any direct info, but he said Jeff Klein and he were looking into trying to replace a Durango vehicle. They weren't asking for a new vehicle, but like a hand-me-down, and I didn't know if anyone knew the status of that or not.
Nah, that'll come along during the after the budget's approved, and then when we get to the capital as to whether or not we decide to move forward with say purchasing another vehicle for the police. And
Right.
If that happens, then generally they can have one of the hand-me-down from there.
Right, and I know that's
We're not
what
even
he was
close.
seeking that, but okay, yeah, I'll just let him know it's still in the works and we don't have an answer. All right, thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause the recording. Okay. Good evening. Today is April. I want it to be April. Maybe it'll warm up some. Today is March 28th, 2022. This is the regular council meeting of the Mayor and Common Council Borough of Flemington. This meeting is being held in conformance with the Open Public Meetings Act. This meeting is called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law and is being held in person and online. Notice of this meeting was included in a list of meetings notice sent to the Huntington County Democratic Courier News on January 5th, 2022, posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall on that date, and has remained continuously posted as required. Notice of the council returning to in-person and online meetings was sent to the Huntington County Democratic Courier News on March 15th, 2022. It was posted in the meeting listings on the borough website and the Borough Hall. And copies of this notice and all notices are on file in the office of the borough clerk. We did have a work session earlier, and hold on here. Phone's trying to. We did have a work session earlier. Nothing of major importance took place. We talked about community gardening as well as community cleanup day, and there will be an amendment to the agenda to schedule community cleanup day. If we could all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Sally, if you would take the roll call, please.
Mayor Driver,
Here.
Ms. Hand,
Here.
Mr. Johnston is absent. Mr. Long,
Here.
Ms. Rosetti,
Here,
Ms. Tilly is not with us tonight.
She's excused.
Thank you.
So I didn't mean to add that in like that, but I wanted that to be noted for
I'll note it that way in the
other
minutes.
reasons. Thank you. Hey, just bear with me for 1 second. I had my phone here and on, and it tried to transcribe everything I was saying. We were supposed to have consideration of candidates to replace Caitlin Giles McCormick. Those names have been transmitted to the borough clerk. However, council at this point is not ready to vote on those names, so that will be at the next meeting. I have a very quick mayor's report that I'll get into. Very quick, actually, just mentioning that the budget is being introduced tonight. It's kind of a mix of good news and bad news. The tax rate is going down. However, everybody's houses in Flemington Borough are worth quite a bit more than they were a year ago. So those values will be pushing up tax bills. However, it will be at a reduced tax rate that we have. Residential values went up by 5.81% last year. Overall, borough-wide, that was a gain of $13,834,000 that went up. Everything gained last year. Overall ratables went up 6% across the board. And so that's really good news. That's good news for property owners in town. And although nobody likes to get a bigger tax bill, it is due to the fact that your property is worth a little bit more. You know, property values in Flemington Borough were really stagnant for well over a decade. So that's a good thing to be seeing that as well. I did get from the tax assessor, which he did not bring 2 weeks ago, that was the exempt properties report. The current value of exempt properties in the borough of Flemington, that's borough-owned property, county-owned property, property owned by nonprofit organizations. We do have a few residents that have 100% tax exemption due to being 100% disabled due to their military service, and that all adds up to $62,580,200, and that composes 11.17% of our tax rateable base, and that's pretty significant. You know, I mean, and that's what we get for being the county seat. Jeremy, do you want to start?
Sure. Got a few things here. A detailed police report this time around. So over the weekend, in a residential area, there was a theft of a vehicle's catalytic converter. What happened was the thieves jacked the vehicle up and used a sawzall to cut that off. The thieves that will, usually then take those converters and sell them for scrap, possibly for $500 each. And just some information to have, 2 of the top 5 vehicles to have their catalytic converters stolen are Hondas and Chevys, but this is not limited to other vehicles. Thefts of the converters have become a national issue, so we've seen an uptick in this in the area. So the police department does encourage residents to call or see if anything suspicious, persons around vehicles on their street, they hear any noises of mechanical work being done at night. Police department also encourages residents and business owners alike to register their camera systems with the police department's community crime cam program, which can be done by going to the department's website or calling the police department, speaking with one of the detectives. The department also encourages everyone to purchase a camera system for the home or business. The department would be happy to assist anyone looking to do this. The police department wants everyone to know that they will not recommend a brand or company, but can assist with things such as placement and registry. with the program. Finally, the department will be teaming up again with Go Hunterdon around May for a Street Smart program. Police department will also be doing a bicycle program with them. FCP news, I attended an FCP meeting last Monday. At the meeting, the treasurer, David Johnston, was actually voted in as the new president. So I'm looking forward to working more with him as we are off to a really great start. So stay tuned as some preliminary discussion is being had regarding a potential presentation for our council here on what the FCP is all about. I think it would be great for all of us and the public to have much more information about this very important entity. So the FCP is wrapping up March Restaurant Month Bingo. You have until the 1st of April to email a pic of your bingo board and pics from the restaurant or the receipts. There's still a $50 prize and a $250 prize for participating. The events calendar for spring through winter will be published next week with events on Main Street and Stagwell. Stay tuned so that you can mark your calendars. The FCP is working on updating the wayfinding signs around town to be current, and the parking signs will be updated first and presented to the council. So that's some important news. And then the marketing firm that was hired, Suasion, they are looking forward to this great new strategic plan to improve the business viability in the region. And the FCP is planning on updating their website with this information and more. So stay tuned on that. Civic engagement, as I mentioned in the work session, I'm kind of working on getting some announcements together, getting things out to people, and planning for ways to disseminate information. So stay tuned for that. But it's looking like the summertime is going to be when everything kind of gets going there. And that is my report.
Excellent. Liz Rossetti.
Thank you, Mayor. To start, I did have a conversation with our property maintenance code enforcement officer, Dave Giuliani. He was just catching me up on some things he's been working on. As spring arrives, he will be touching back about some sidewalk issues around the borough. Now the temperatures are rising, following up on some repairs that people need to be making. He currently has nothing else pending in court now that important safety issues have been corrected at Turntable Junction. So that's good news. Also, a community member had brought up an issue about overcrowding of vehicles at Broad Street Automotive. So he did have good news to report that 6 to 7 vehicles have been removed from that property and further cleanup is continuing. In other news, it was brought to my attention about an article written about a potential, as they put it, homeless shelter at a building next to Calvary Episcopal Church, which is on the corner of New York and Broad here in the borough. So I did speak with the senior warden of the church, Miss Morel White, and she was very forthcoming and transparent with me that they do have plans. They are trying to have some transitional housing available to families, similar to what was done before COVID, but it was done as a rotational basis throughout churches in the county. However, after speaking with our construction official, Jeff Klein, that building is currently zoned as single family usage. So their plans were to house up to 4 families, but that would be against borough zoning at this point. So I did circle back with her and let her know that they are allowed to use it for 1 family at a time, but multi-family use would be prohibited under the current zoning codes. She can pursue, if she's gonna talk with other people at the church, but perhaps approaching the Board of Adjustments to try to get that reworked, but that would then involve more details in terms of safety aspects, potential sprinklers, alarms, if it were to be a multi-family zoning. But right now it does remain single family usage only. And that's what I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Jess Hand.
Thank you, Mayor. Sorry, I had an environmental commission meeting last week. We are still looking for members. If you are interested in the environmental commission, to email me at jhand@historicflemington.com. I had applied for the Community Energy Plan grant, so fingers crossed that we are chosen for this grant. And I am still working on different community garden things. So that is it for me.
Excellent. And we are down one, we're down three, so it's a light attendance this evening. Next up, that brings us to our first public comment session. If you are here as a member of the public and would like to make a comment, you can find at the bottom of your screen or the top of your screen, depending upon your operating system, your raise hand issue. And before we do that, I am going to bring up Amy Overman. Amy is our new JCP&L rep. And so she's gonna she was hoping to be here today and she wasn't able to make it. So she did reach out a couple hours ago to say, you know, she would be zooming in, and here she is. And Amy, I'm sorry we don't have you on camera here because I didn't make you a panelist, although I suppose I could.
Don't be charging that.
Yeah, just Amy, give us a minute.
Sure.
And we're gonna push you up as a panelist rather than.
Oh,
as-
I see. Okay.
So that we can see you. Okay, she should be coming on.
Yeah, she says a panelist.
She a panelist now?
I'm muted.
Okay.
There we go.
Hey there, hi Amy.
Okay, hi.
See a face with the voice.
Oh, it is. I know.
Recently about a number of things, so welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to attend tonight, preferably in person, and I apologize, but I had to zoom in last minute. I just wanted to introduce myself. I'm Amy Overman. I'm the new permanent JCP&L External Affairs Liaison for Flemington, and also I'm working with the entirety of Hunterdon County as my territory. I'm Stan Prater's replacement. For those that may have worked with him a while back, he's been retiring out, and I've replaced him. So I want to say hello first and foremost. Anything Flemington Borough needs, I'm your point of contact going forward. And as the mayor mentioned, I have talked to her a number of times. You know, we've been keeping in touch on some different things. Just two brief updates I'll make. One, and some of you may have seen this, but we are going to be installing smart meters starting in 2023. This technology will allow meters to be read without having a meter reader come out. Residents will get a notice about a month before smart meter technology is installed. And I haven't heard of anyone wanting this yet, but there will be an option to opt out should anybody not want that smart meter technology. But so far in New Jersey, it's been well received. Also, we had an infrastructure investment program between 2019 and 2020. JCP&L invested over $97 million just in smart technology, device upgrades, as well as we expanded our vegetation management. We went out of our normal zones. We cut a lot of vegetation. We're in the process of preparing a report right now just to look at the reliability from those efforts. So that report will be forthcoming, and I'm hoping that when I come back towards the summer in person, you know, that I'll be able to share more of that with the mayor and council. And that's pretty much all I have at this time. I just wanted to say hi mainly.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you.
Okay, and for council's information, I have spoken with Amy regarding the request for a light over on William Street, as well as the feasibility of removing the overhead Cobra headlights where we did the sidewalk improvement of the streetscape on Main Street. They're waiting for the work orders and they're waiting for engineers to come out and do whatever engineers do. And she'll get back to us with some dollars and dollar amounts as to what it would cost. So those things are in process as well. Thanks, Amy. Thanks for taking time
Thank
out
you.
of your evening tonight. Sally, if you could.
Yep.
Move her. Next up, I see Dominic Busimer. I'm sure I did horrible things to your name.
No, Mayor, it's great.
You're here, you're up.
Thank
You can
very
just
much.
take your name and your address, please.
Yes, it's Dominic Busimer, 11 New York Ave. Currently, I live across from the church annex that was discussed about the potential homeless shelter and the multifamily, if it's approved. I was just curious, how will the residents be notified if it is a approved multifamily resident for the homeless shelter. And is that approved by the town council or the planning board?
So I know Liz, do you want to address that? You want me to address it, what the process is?
If you want to go over the specific process, that would be great. I do know that, I can add that the, senior warden there was very, open to, communicating with the surrounding residents, in terms of if you have any questions, she's willing to talk to anyone. You can call the church at any time and they know how to direct you to her. But yeah, Mayor, if you want to address the process for the adjustments, that would be
So
great.
basically, they would have to go to the Board of Adjustment. When they make application to the Board of Adjustment, anybody within the 200-foot zone, which would include you, Dominic, would be notified that that is taking place.
Okay, great.
This
Thank you
was
very
not
much.
done before they turned up in the paper. In fact, I found out about it when that reporter called me, so.
Yes. Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, and we'll make sure that if they decide to go to the Board of Adjustment, I'll double check and make sure that everybody there is notified.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Is there anybody else who would like to make a comment? You can raise your hand by clicking the raise hand icon at the bottom of your screen or the top of your screen, depending upon the operating system that you are using.
I'm not seeing any hands on.
I am not seeing any hands up, so we shall move on to, you guys want to make a motion first to amend the agenda to add community cleanup day for,
Sunday, May 1st. Yes, I would like to motion to amend the agenda to add spring cleanup day to Sunday, May 1st.
Rosetti will second.
Okay, it's me a short roll call. Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti.
Yes.
All right, we have amended the agenda to include a resolution setting the community-wide cleanup for Sunday, May 1st.
Yes.
okay.
So the next thing would be to move
Do
that.
you want to make a
resolution.
motion to adopt that?
Handle motion.
Rosetti will second.
And this is to approve Sunday, May 1st as community cleanup day. Normally, we do these a little earlier in the morning, being a Sunday, maybe you want to do it at noon or something. You guys can figure that out as you get closer.
Okay, so Sunday, May 1st. Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti.
Yes.
All right, that's the date.
Excellent. We have a motion to approve the minutes of March 14th, 2022 regular council meeting.
Long move.
Handle second.
Well, let's do, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Any abstentions? All right, they are approved.
Excellent. Next up is a motion to approve the minutes of the March 14th, 2022 early executive session.
Long motion.
Handle second.
All right, we'll do a voice vote again. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Okay, that's approved.
Next up is a motion to approve the minutes of the March 14th, 2022 late executive session.
Long move.
Handle second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Okay, they're approved. Thank you.
Next up is the consent agenda. Do you want to approve the consent agenda? Do you want to pull anything out? You want to pull out 94? To say a few words about it?
I didn't have anything prepared, but I can pull it out if you want.
It's up to you, no. Don't.
Oh, yeah, it's all right.
Okay, you have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Long move.
Handle second.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Okay, it's approved.
Okay, next up is ordinance 2022-4. This is a first reading. This is a salary ordinance for 2022. We could have a motion.
Handle move.
Hold a second.
So this year, as we did the budget, this always gets adopted for those that have been around. This gets adopted in conjunction with the budget. Everybody and the budget gets the non-union, the non-represented employees have a 2.5% salary increase this year, which is typical. Some years we've done 2%. I think I don't know, it's ever been more than 3%. It's usually between 2 and 3%. Any comments, questions? Sally, go ahead and call the roll.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
Okay, that's approved.
The second reading and public hearing on that will be in 2 weeks on April 11th. Next up is ordinance 2022-5. This is the first reading. This is calendar year 2022 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget cost of living allowance and to establish a cap bank when the cost of living allowance is equal to or less than 2.5%. Again, this is a statutory item. If we could have a motion.
Long move.
Handle second.
The public and the Sally call the vote on that.
Yeah, Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
Okay, that's all you have to introduce.
So I'm just gonna, before we go on that, I'm just gonna read what Bill Hance wrote me about it. There's a cap bank ordinance that needs to be done. This is for the appropriations cap, not the tax levy cap. This is the cap on increases in expenditures. We are allowed to increase the budget by 2.5% and have to do this ordinance to increase that to 3.5%. Any unused amount of increase would get banked for 2 years, and we still have to comply with the 2% levy cap, even with increasing the budget 3.5%. Next up is the first reading, resolution 2022-95. This is the first reading adopting the 2022 municipal budget of the borough of Flemington.
Move.
Handle second.
Can I just ask Tara a quick question?
Yeah,
With the limited number of people here and the whole 2/3 vote to
Oh,
approve the budget,
yeah, we need it for, on a cap bank ordinance, we need 2/3 of the full majority of council.
okay, so then let's undo that.
It needs to be tabled till the next meeting, regardless of how many people you have at the meeting, the statute is 2/3 of the full.
it's
Thank
the
you.
full membership, that was what I was
Full
trying to,
membership,
yeah, thank you.
So then we have to table the budget too.
Okay. And for the, what's it, the ordinance 5, the exceeding the budget code for
That's
the cap?
2/3, yeah, anything budgetary, the cap bank, everything is 2/3.
How about the first reading of the salary
First.
ordinance?
The salary ordinance, no, you're okay, because that's a regular
Okay,
ordinance, anything, the budget stuff, the cap bank and the budgets for 2/3 of the full.
Okay.
Okay,
Is
so,
that, we're early enough, it's not gonna cause any problems, or do we need an
hey
extension?
Bill, why don't you jump
Yeah,
in?
are we gonna need an extension from DCA to adopt the budget?
You probably should do a resolution extending the introduction of the budget due to not having enough council members, I guess. Because you're supposed to introduce by March 30th or the next regularly scheduled meeting, so I mean, I guess if we do it the first one in April, we should be okay.
Yeah, but then it has to be adopted by what, April?
April 30th or yeah,
I would, to be safe, let's do the resolution, so Bill has it if he needs to send anything to DCA.
Okay,
So do we need to table this first or?
Yes, table
Okay.
first,
so
and
we
then
have a motion to table,
So
the
I'm
cap
sorry.
bank ordinance, we have to undo the vote.
So I think I need Jeremy and Jess to withdraw their motion and second to adopt, right?
yes,
So I'll withdraw my motion.
I will also withdraw the second.
Okay, and now we need someone to move to table, right?
I'm gonna move the table.
I'll second that.
Okay, okay, this will be a vote to table resolution 2022-95. That's the budget introduction to the first meeting in April. Mr. Long,
Yes,
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
Okay, and I think we're gonna have to also go back and for ordinance 2022-5, exceeding the budget cap, since we already voted to approve it and we can't do it, you're gonna need to
make a motion to rescind,
Is that okay? Thank
a
you.
motion to rescind.
alright, so I'll make a motion to rescind ordinance 2022-5.
I will second that.
Okay, Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes,
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
All right. So we'll put that on the April 11th agenda for our first reading as well.
And then,
Do we now need a resolution that Bill was talking about?
yes, a resolution to extend the deadline by which to introduce the budget.
So we need a motion to amend the agenda to
Yes,
include a resolution extending the introduction of budget.
yes.
I will motion that.
I will second.
I'm still writing. Okay. Jess is moving, Jeremy is seconding. We'll take a vote on amending that agenda. Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes,
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
All right. So now that the amendment has been agended, we have a resolution that needs to be moved to extend the introduction of the budget to the first meeting in April. Can someone make that motion?
I will make a motion.
I will second.
Okay, now we're voting on the resolution to extend the introduction of the budget to the first meeting in April. Mr. Long,
Yes,
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Ms. Rosetti,
Liz,
Liz?
I think she did say,
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Sorry.
okay, so then Bill and Tara, should we then also table the self-examination part and the compliance with the EEOC stuff?
you can, yeah, so we do it all at the same time.
Okay,
And then I will draft the resolution to extend the introduction of the budget. So then Bill has it in the event that he has to provide anything to DCA.
That would be awesome,
And I will make it, it will reflect what we discussed, that it's being tabled because we're a little short staffed this week.
So we need motions to table or to
so
just
yeah,
get
so
to
the
it when we
next
get
one
to
then
them.
is resolution 2022-95, did you table that one, that's the actual budget?
We did that, we did the budget. We haven't done the self-exam 96.
Okay. So could I have a motion to table 2022-96 self-examination for the 2022 municipal budget?
I will motion to table.
Handle second.
Okay, Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Yes,
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
All right, that's tabled until April 11th. Then we have 2022-97.
We have a motion to table 2297 certifying compliance with the U.S. Equal Opportunity Commission's enforcement guidance.
motion to table.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long?
Yes,
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
All right, that's tabled to the 11th as well.
That brings us to something we can vote on. Resolution 2022-98, appointing Alicia Perez as municipal court violations clerk and an annual salary of $40,000. That's effective March 29, 2022.
I'll move.
Handle second.
Okay, Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes,
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
All right, that's adopted.
Next up is resolution 2022-99, authorizing renewal of an agreement with Community Grants Planning and Housing as Flemington's administrative agent for COA-related client support services. If we could have a motion,
Handle
Well-
move.
Long will second.
any discussion? Call the vote.
Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes,
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
Okay, that's approved.
Next up is resolution 2022-100, authorizing the purchase of reusable shopping bags from Twisted Ink. Could I have a motion,
Handle move.
long will second.
any discussion?
I just had a question. Is this the whole bag ban
Yeah.
situation?
Yeah, so they're gonna say from mayor and council with the borough logo and Clean Communities Act.
Okay,
So, we're using clean community funds for that. So it is not coming out of the court general fund. And we haven't been spending too much on the clean communities just because of COVID, so it gives us an opportunity to do something good with it, I think.
good timing.
Okay. Sally?
Well, yeah, Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes,
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
All right, that's
Yes.
approved. Thank you.
Next up is resolution 2022-101. This is authorizing a vendor agreement with the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs regarding the low-income household water assistance program. If we could have a motion,
long move.
Handle second.
so this is it's kind of funny that, Tara wrote something quite funny about it. And yeah, we have to have this on as a resolution, but we have to pass it because it's required by state.
You're required to offer this program, but the state is asking you to sign an agreement about this program.
So
That's awesome.
basically, this is the vendor that will be assisting anybody who wants to apply for a payment plan for past water and sewer. Normally, we would just do it ourselves via council vote, but not everybody is as lucky as us to be able to do that. So, and that's probably fine too, otherwise we have to announce the names as to who's getting it. Any other council discussion? Sally, go ahead and call the vote.
Okay, Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes,
Ms. Rosetti?
Yes.
All righty, that's approved. I think that brings us to the second public comment session.
That does bring us to the second public comment session. Sorry, I'm off my game here a little bit. If anybody has a comment they'd like to make, you can raise your hand, click on the raise hand icon. I don't see anyone calling in on the phone. Not seeing any hands go up. We'll move on. Is there an attorney's report?
No, I do not have anything additional.
Okay. Next up, can we pay the bills with only 3 votes?
Yes.
I think that's one thing that you can do.
Then long will move.
I will second.
All right, all in favor, I will just, Ms. Hand,
Yes.
Mr. Long,
Yes.
Ms. Rossetti,
Yes.
all right, the bills will be paid.
Ready to go to executive session?
I don't have anything additional.
Then we have a motion to adjourn the world's shortest Flemington Borough Council meeting.
Randall vote.
I will second. Yeah, one word for that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I.
Aye. All right, we are adjourned at 8:08 PM.